The Halo Infinite competitive settings have been revealed, and I can't wait to dive into them. In the background of this video, I'm going to be running the first ever Halo competitive settings reveal with pro player L-Town. Let's get started. With the first event being at Raleigh, North Carolina on December 17th, there was no way HGS wouldn't let us know about the settings we'll be playing on. First off, we know that BR starts are making a return with no secondary weapon. Halo at all levels, both casual and competitive, at its core, has been based around all players starting on an equal playing ground. And having to fight over the map positioning to give yourself an advantage to power weapons and power-ups, which always have been at the most vulnerable points on the map. With BR only starts, players are encouraged to find secondary weapons throughout the map and supports a less campy game, if you will. The BR is also so far the most consistent precision-based weapon that we've seen in the flight so far. The Commando, although most of the time treated as a single or burst fire weapon from range, can really mow down your opponents up close because it is an automatic weapon. And the Sidekick, in my opinion, seems a bit too inconsistent to be a starting weapon. Not to mention the BR is loved by all and will keep old heads like me happy. Next up, we're going to talk about the motion tracker and grenade hit markers have been completely disabled in competitive settings. In every Halo game before Halo 5, the radar has been disabled as far as in tournament settings, not just ranked Team Slayer, but as far as tournament competitive settings. This, along with grenade hit markers being turned off, as a part of the information is earned as opposed to given mentality. Competitors will really have to rely on the individual awareness, team communication, and instincts to decide what are the best plays to make throughout the game. One false move and your opponent will get the jump on you. Now in Halo 5, the ability tracker was introduced where normal walking was undetected on radar, but the moment that you use sprint, thrust, or shot your weapon, you would show up to all players in proximity. I think with how fast you were able to traverse the map in Halo 5, this made players think whether they wanted to fly across the map or play at a slightly slower combat, so they always have their guns ready for action or even get behind enemy lines undetected. Halo Infinite seemingly doesn't need the ability tracker as desperate as Halo 5 did. The movement seems to be toned down dramatically, alongside with thrust not being a base ability. This will also make equipment pickups even more important, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Next up, friendly fire has been turned on for competitive. Without friendly fire, you aren't punished for throwing bad nades or spamming your shots towards a teammate that you know is an engagement without even being accurate. You can just spray down and essentially help your teammate without any consequence to actually hitting them. We know friendly fire had to come back for competitive, so I don't think many people are going to be surprised there. What I do want to talk about is the game modes: Slayer, Capture the Flag, Strongholds, and Oddball. There's been a lot of rumbling in the competitive Halo community wanting Team Slayer to be removed from competitive play. Although I'm open to this, I feel that we can't just remove Slayer without properly replacing it with something that gives us that potential 49-49 stalemate in a Game 7. Those have created some exciting moments and some of the most iconic moments in Halo's history. We tried a one-life game type like Call of Duty has in Search and Destroy. Sadly, Breakout was not really well received, and it was ended up being removed from the rotation. Not a lot of people liked it. Returning alongside Team Slayer's Capture the Flag, which should be no surprise to all. I don't think I've ever heard a single competitive player say they feel Capture the Flag should be replaced. This longtime staple will be making its return right next to newcomer Strongholds. There have been many people who will argue back and forth on whether Halo 5 was a good game or not, but the general consensus is that Strongholds is fun to watch and has a large skill gap. In order to hold control, you have to have 2 out of the 3 points controlled. When an opponent starts to capture one of your 2, you then have a choice to either fight them and defend that base, or you can out-rotate them and go for a third base, because again, the only thing that matters is controlling at least 2 points so that you can put points on the board. Now, mind you, if you end up having a trip cap, you can really put the pressure on your opponents. So I mean, Strongholds is interesting. I'm kind of glad it's returning. I think it's a really good game type. Next up, I want to talk about Oddball, another game type that's kind of have split the community. I personally don't mind it, fighting for a single objective and controlling it while a player essentially is put out of the action, putting your team in a 3v4 for most of your setup, your ball carrier then having to make a decision whether to drop and help slay with your teammates, or to put the ball in a more baitable position, or even off the map so that it resets. I think on the right maps, Oddball plays really well, and we've seen some intense moments in Halo's history. I think it's a pretty good game type, but I mean, I'm open to replacing it. I just want to know with what. Like, are we going to bring back King of the Hill? Are we going to bring back Extraction from Halo 4? What are we going to actually be replacing Oddball with? Or are we just taking it out just for the sake of taking it out? Finally, weapons and equipment grenades on maps will be on a set static spawning, meaning that they'll always appear in the same location on each map and mode combo, and will respawn at same intervals. With everyone actually knowing where the potential interests are on the map, it is up to the better coordinated team to push together and control the resources and things like power weapons and rocket, sniper, even equipment as well. These are the resources that you have to control to gain an advantage on your opponent. And with no radar, these power-ups and power weapons get even more powerful. You can really sneak up on your opponent with those rockets, and they have no idea, if they don't have the awareness or they don't have the equipment to be able to hear you coming up behind with the flank. Same thing with the grapple and repulsor. We've seen some crazy plays with the repulsor, knocking people off the map. Just imagine if, you know, it's even harder to track that person because he's not showing up on radar, but he's baiting you to repulse you right off the map. It's going to be really interesting to see. The one thing I'm kind of scared of is having grapple and competitive play combined with objective. I've seen some people really launching the flag from literally across the map, and I don't know how that would work for competitive. I don't think I personally like that, but I guess only time will tell. Nonetheless, it seems that Infinite is starting off on the right foot. The only questions I really have is that they mentioned ranked/competitive. Does that mean that even regular ranked Team Slayer will also have BR no radar starts? Previously in almost every game, we've always seen assault rifles and some kind of secondary be implemented with regular Team Slayer. And I would like the idea, especially in Halo Infinite, where maybe we keep the AR on a more social side, and maybe we keep that BR no radar across all competitive and across all ranked, including Team Slayer. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, so let me know in the comments down below if you think Team Slayer should have ARs and radar, or if you think regular ranked Team Slayer should also have BRs and no radar, just like our tournament competitive players are going to have. I'm kind of curious of what you guys think as a community, and if you guys like these kind of videos, I'm going to be putting out a ton of them, I promise you. So make sure you guys drop a like, drop a subscribe, and like I said, leave in those comments what you guys think about that discussion, or what you guys think about Halo Infinite in general. I want to know what you guys think, the community, because all of the most important. Thank you so much for watching the video. Peace.